There are many kinds of power in our world. Some people would say politically that there's hard power and soft power. Hard power would be a threat of a military action or cutting off fuel, like Russia not making its fuel available. So we would suggest that the truest, most functional form of power is soft. It is gentle. It is compassionate. It is spiritually aligned. It is a thing of love and care and sensitivity and empathy and compassion. Certainly, there are destructive types of destructive force energy in our world that are utilized even today. I mean, they're fighting a war between Ukraine and Russia. So we've not given up that paradigm comprehensively as a species. And that said, statistically, if you look at the history of violence in our world, there are far less wars and battles being fought these days than there have been ever in the recorded history of humanity. So as terrible as this situation between Russia and Ukraine is, as painful as it is, and as much suffering as is being created, it's not necessarily a sign of falling backward. It's part of resolving the residue in the collective species decision-making process of being willing to use hard power rather than soft power to solve our problems, our misunderstandings, our conflicts, or to fulfill our needs as we operate as nations and peoples and individuals and families. So this process of soft power we mentioned yesterday was communicated very well by the orientation team in their conversation with a gentleman who is a climate scientist named Julian. And he was saying things like, well, I've got to have a concrete answer and it's got to be fully grounded. It's got to be fully materialized. So we're paraphrasing, if I'm going to talk to other climate scientists about it. So how do I know that your conscious collaboration model works, that it's real, that it's material, that it's concrete, and it's grounded? And the orientation team brilliantly responded in a very elegant way, and as a chorus, if you will, a collaborative chorus, answering from several different vantage points, precisely when, where, how, and why this is a real thing. The social movement engine is going to be an IT platform infrastructure that we're starting the design of, the actual design process and workshops next week. They said we've provided 4 workshops, and we're about to provide a 5th workshop on women's empowerment in the next 2-3 weeks. And so the skepticism of science, if you will, like you have to prove it to me or you have to show me something that I can hang my hat on to say it's real, they were able to bridge that gap eloquently and gently and caringly. And this brilliant scientist, this gentleman Julian, is truly brilliant, was able to receive it in spite of his tendency to compete and to operate in a siloed sort of way in his university, because the university paradigm is to keep people competing against each other and non-collaborative. And that's seen as more productive than having people work together, which we would suggest is not the wisest policy. And that said, that's how many educational organizations operate, and how many corporations operate, and how many nations operate, even how the United Nations operates to a degree.